Welcome to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. This is your go-to source for practical advice and support for when the divorce process has finished. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll cover a variety of topics related to post-divorce. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of life after divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here's your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to get into a topic that many divorced parents may have faced. And that is a question of, the health insurance for the kids when the ex-spouse can no longer carry it and the divorce is final. So we're going to navigate through this important aspect of post-divorce life and see, what potential options there are available for you. Now, when the marriage ends and children are involved, we want to ensure their well-being is a top priority. Health insurance is a critical component of this. And during divorce proceedings, a plan for the children's health coverage is typically outlined in the divorce decree. However, we all know that life is more than a little unpredictable, and people's circumstances can change. So if your ex-spouse, who was responsible for providing health insurance for the kids, can no longer carry it after the divorce is final, it introduces a new set of challenges that require a lot of careful consideration. Now, first, it's important to review the terms of the divorce decree and court order. This document may include provisions regarding health insurance for the children and the responsibilities of each parent. If the ex-spouse is unable to fulfill their obligation, it may necessitate a modification to the court order. One option you can explore is the Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, or as most of us already know and call it as, COBRA. So COBRA insurance allows children to continue their health insurance coverage for a limited period after a qualifying event, such as a parent's loss of coverage. However, similar to the adult scenario, COBRA coverage can be more expensive, and it could be a lot more expensive. And so it's essential to evaluate if that kind of cost is feasible. Another avenue to explore, alternative health insurance plans for children. This could involve researching and selecting individual health insurance plans or exploring coverage options through, say, the Affordable Care Act marketplace. It's, important to find a plan that aligns with the children's health needs and financial capacity of the parent responsible for the coverage. Now, I think it goes without saying that communication between ex-spouses is pretty solidly important during this process. If changes in health insurance coverage for the children are anticipated, it's advisable to discuss potential solutions openly and collaboratively. Seeking legal advice to ensure any modifications align with the best interest of the children can be beneficial as well. So, in cases where child support is involved, a change in health insurance coverage may impact the child support order. Here again, may be necessary to revisit the child support arrangement to ensure that the financial aspects are adjusted to accommodate the changes in health coverage. Now, we want to say here, it's pretty important for both parents to prioritize the well-being of their children. This should go without saying, and work together to find a practical and sustainable solution. Navigating changes in health insurance coverage requires a proactive and cooperative approach, and it's going to take a little effort on both spouses' parts. In conclusion, facing the challenge of loss of health insurance coverage for children in post-divorce is undoubtedly a complex situation. So reviewing your legal documents, exploring alternative coverage options, and maintaining open communication are some of the bigger keys in finding solutions that prioritize the children's health and well-being. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. Should you have any questions on today's topic or any financial planning issues that you need assistance with, my contact information is in the description. Reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Divorce is not the end of your story. as we already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Take care. Hello, and welcome to Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to have a different kind of episode. This one's going to be a little unique in the sense that I'm just going to have a conversation with you on the topic. No outline, nothing scripted, just sharing my thoughts. And the topic we're going to look at today is, getting through the other side. You've made it through the other side after divorce, kind of thing. And where's that put you? And so, a lot of times in the episodes that I've done on, a new you, we talk a lot about self-care. And I think it's a big part after the fact is the self-care version. And not just for you. If you have kids, the kids also look up to you. So you're going to lead by example on the self-care side of things. Whether you have kids or not, it's just a healthy way of processing and getting through things, whether you do it with a therapist, whether you do it on your own, kind of thing, your support network that you set up through the divorce process. I hope you had a good one to get you through, because that is just a grueling journey. And so, and I always say that, I am not a proponent of getting divorced. It's not easy. There's nothing glamorous about it. And it's not any fun. So, getting through it, making that decision, you are a much stronger individual than you might think or thought of yourself for that matter. And I think it's pretty key that, moving on takes place at some point. It's at your own pace. Don't let others dictate like you should be here, you should be there. That's not how life works for you or for me or for anybody. Everybody works at their own pace as far as how they get through things and process stuff. But also don't be afraid to ask for help. People generally want to help. Friends, family, reconnecting, things like that. Get yourself, in tune so you have different outlets and you have socialization, because being by yourself, if you don't have kids and even if you have kids, you may not have custody of your kids all the time. So being by yourself is something that I think is a very important piece. It's something you should take pride in, that you can be an independent individual. You don't need to lean on somebody else. You're there and you can do it. And I think, for most divorced couples, that's a fairly significant takeaway a lot of times, is the fact that you have the feeling that, what, I've done it once before, I'm doing it again. And so, and I always like to say that, if you ever are going to start dating again or something like that, or go out with that, you need to be independent and the other person needs to be independent, that kind of thing. So, everybody is in a far better space, on the next relationship kind of thing. And so don't, you know, don't, don't knock the whole self-care and getting yourself going. I mean, it's all right to feel angry and sad and process the emotion, grief, cry, do what you got to do. And that's perfectly fine and acceptable. There is nothing wrong with that. And so, but after you get through that, it's okay to be happy. It's okay to be joyful. It's okay to do fun things. It's okay to be you. And I think that's probably the biggest thing you get out of going through the process is just being you. You don't have to conform to anybody. You don't have to think about, what they're going to say or what they're going to do. It's you and you're good enough. So I do want to thank you. I want to take a moment to thank you for listening to all the episodes, liking them, sharing them, doing whatever you do with them kind of thing. I provide it as a resource. I like to help educate and inform people. But, one of the things I always say at the end is, if you have questions, reach out and I'm here. I don't say that lightly. If you do have questions or need something, let me know. I'm more than happy to help do whatever I can to assist you in getting you the information you need from that standpoint of things. So with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. And I want to wish you a good day and a better week. Take care. Hello, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. Now, today's topic, we really are going to navigate through a significant aspect of divorce life if you have kids, and that's handling college costs for them. Do you need to go back to court after the divorce is final? So, we're really going to explore this important topic. Children grow, as we we can't stop it as parents. We would love to slow it down as much as we can. And, one of the milestones that may come up is attending a college or, basically post high school education. So financial responsibilities often become a focal point. When it comes to college costs, the approach may vary, and it's pretty important to understand how these expenses are handled, especially if they weren't explicitly addressed in the divorce decree. In many divorce cases, the divorce decree really does outline the financial responsibilities of each parent, and that includes things like child support. However, college expenses may not be specifically addressed. Whether and how college costs are handled often depend on state laws, the divorce agreement, and the unique circumstances of the family. Now, if the divorce decree does not explicitly address college costs, parents may need to revisit the issue and negotiate an agreement. It's advisable, really, to have open communication and discussions about how these expenses will be shared. This can involve tuition, room and board, textbooks, and really any other associated costs with going to school. Some divorce agreements include provisions for college expenses, specifying the contribution of each parent. In such case, it's essential to adhere to the terms of the outlined agreement. If there is ambiguity or changes in circumstances, it also may be necessary to seek legal advice to clarify and potentially modify the agreement. Now, in situations where college costs are not addressed in the divorce decree, parents may find themselves needing to go back to court to seek a resolution. This often involves filing a motion with the court to address specific issue of college expenses. So when you get there, the court's going to then consider factors such as the parent's financial capacity, the child's academic performance, and the overall circumstances. It is, and I say this, it is important to note that not all states have laws requiring parents to contribute to their children's college expenses. In states where these laws exist, the court may have the authority to order parents to contribute to their child's education. Don't really have a say. However, it varies, and seeking legal advice based on your specific jurisdiction is crucial, let alone, doing a little research on your own with regards to what your state laws say. One alternative, though, to going back to court is mediation. Mediation will provide a platform for parents to discuss and negotiate college expenses with the assistance of a neutral third party. This collaborative approach can, help find a solution that aligns with the best interest of the child and the financial capacities of both parents. In conclusion, handling college costs after divorce involves careful consideration and, more importantly, open communication between parents. Whether the issue was addressed in the divorce decree or not, seeking an agreement that ensures the children's education is adequately supported is really in the child's best interest, and so that's what the court's going to look at as well. Now, this may involve revisiting divorce agreements, mediation, or some cases actually going back to court. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions on this topic or, any financial planning issues I can assist with, my contact information is in the description. Just reach out. Divorce is not the end of your story. As we already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Until next time, have a great day. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. Now, today's episode, we're really going to dive into a practical and often challenging aspect of, the post-divorce life, and that is dealing with shared debts. what happens to those financial ties after the divorce is final? So let's explore some strategies for navigating this common dilemma. All right, we're going to start with, when couples go their separate ways, the financial entanglements created during the marriage don't automatically dissolve. Shared debts, whether it's a mortgage or, say, credit card debt, or perhaps you got another loan, require careful attention and a strategic approach to avoid potential pitfalls. One of the first steps in dealing with shared debts post-divorce is really to gather a comprehensive understanding of the financial landscape. So this involves, let's see here, taking stock in all of your joint debts, including balances, interest rates, and payment schedules. You're going to want to have a clear picture, for creating a plan, and it's really, really essential so you can move forward. Now, the divorce decree or settlement agreement often addresses the division of debts between spouses. So it may outline which party is responsible for specific debts or provide a framework for how shared debts will be managed. It is important to refer to these legal documents to understand the agreed upon terms. You got to be in the know. You need to figure this out yourself, and you need to stay on top of it. However, even if the divorce decree assigns responsibility for certain debts, it's critical to remember that creditors are not bound by the divorce agreement. It's unfortunate. I know, I get it. If your name is on joint debt, the creditor can still pursue you for payment if your ex-spouse fails to meet the obligations. You just got to be aware. If your ex-spouse is responsible for a joint debt, it's wise to monitor the accounts regularly to ensure the payments are being made on time. Late payments or defaults can impact both parties' credit scores. You don't want your credit score impacted if it's not necessary. So have that proactive communication about these matters and keep on top of it. Refinancing or closing joint accounts is another strategy to consider. If feasible, refinance a mortgage or consolidating debts into an individual account can help sever financial ties and reduce the risk of ongoing conflicts related to shared debts. So if you can get them out of your name, if they're not supposed to be in your name, it's just going to probably make life easier for you in the long run. Now, in some cases, selling jointly owned assets such as a house or car can be a practical solution to pay off shared debts. It's not out of the question. It may be unfortunate, but really you do what you got to do. The proceeds from the sale can be used to settle outstanding balances, providing a clean break from financial entanglements. Debt consolidation could also be an option. So this involves combining multiple debts into a single loan with more favorable terms, lower interest rate, lower payments, length of time, whatever fits kind of what you need to have, for your finances to make things work. It can simplify payments also and potentially reduce the overall interest burden. However, it's important to carefully consider the terms of any new loan. You want to make sure you understand exactly what it's going to do and how it works, prepayment penalties, any other penalties for that matter. Make sure you know and have a clear understanding of the loan terms. Communication between you and your ex-spouse is paramount in navigating shared debts. And establishing a system for regular updates and discussions about financial matters might be necessary and potentially could help prevent misunderstandings and address issues promptly. If disagreements arise or the agreed upon terms are not being followed, you may have to seek legal advice. I mean, you don't want to, but you have to do what you have to do. A family law attorney specializing in divorce can provide guidance on how to enforce the terms of the divorce decree and protect your interests. Wrapping up here, dealing with shared debts after the divorce is final. The divorce is final, requires a combination of clear communication, strategic planning, and adherence to legal agreements. By staying proactive and addressing financial matters responsibly, we can untangle the financial threads of the past and move forward with confidence into the new chapter. I want to thank you for joining me on this edition of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description. Drop me a line, give me a call, shoot me an email. I'll help any way I can. So divorce is not the end of your story. As we already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Until next time, all the best. Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're going to get into an emotional aspect that many individuals do face post divorce, and that is, coping with loneliness. The end of a marriage can leave a void. That's true. However, you really want to keep in mind that there are options and strategies to navigate through the loneliness and embrace this next chapter in your life. Let's explore some of these options and ideas. Loneliness is a common and natural emotion after divorce. The shift from being part of a couple to being your own individual can be challenging. However, it's essential to recognize that loneliness doesn't have to define your post-divorce journey. That's not how you have to be. There are various options for coping and building a fulfilling life as a single individual. One powerful way to combat loneliness is really to reconnect with yourself. Take time, start with you. Rediscover your interests, passions, and goals. It's got to be things you enjoy doing. Now, engaging in these activities will bring you joy and fulfillment that can provide a sense of purpose and a shift the focus away from the loneliness. You can also build a strong support system. You might have already had this in place from when you were going through the divorce process. You just want to continue to use it. Reaching out to friends and family and let them be a source of comfort and companionship. Social connections are vital for emotional well-being, and surrounding yourself with supportive individuals can alleviate feelings of loneliness. Well, you could join social groups or clubs that align with your interests, whether it's a book club, a sports league, a hobby-based group. These gatherings provide opportunities to meet new people who share similar passions. You got something in common already. Makes it a little easier to go out. Building these connections with others can help combat isolation because you're getting out of the house and create a sense of belonging. The whole thing here is just having contact with other people and making it something you enjoy. Well, most of us have embraced technology as a tool for connection. In the digital age here, there are no shortage of ways to stay connected with others, really. Goodness, you could spend all day online. Things like online communities. You could participate in virtual events. The pandemic taught us that. And the use of social media platforms to engage with friends, old and new, are all options. Technology can bridge geographical gaps and provide a sense of community. So, it's good. Really, video chatting with someone who's a long distance away, whether it's a close friend, family member, doesn't matter, makes you feel a lot closer if you can see them. Therapy and counseling is also a valuable resource for addressing loneliness. A mental health professional can provide support, guidance, and strategies for coping with the emotional challenges of post-divorce life. Seeking professional help is a sign of strength and a proactive step towards emotional well-being. It can do a lot of good. It really can. So there's nothing wrong with giving it a chance and utilizing someone else's expertise. Now, one that's kind of unique is volunteering. It's a way to combat loneliness while making a positive impact on others. Choose a cause or organization that resonates with you and just dedicate some time to giving back to the community, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly. You get to set the schedule. So volunteering not only provides a sense of purpose, but also allows you to connect with like-minded individuals, again, like we said up before, with joining a group of some kind. Self-care really is at the top of the list when it comes to the journey of overcoming loneliness. Take care of your physical and mental well-being. Exercise, healthy eating, and mindfulness practices contribute to a positive mindset. When you prioritize self-care, you are better equipped to face the challenges of loneliness. Now, it is also essential to acknowledge and process the emotions associated with loneliness. Allow yourself to grieve at the end of the marriage and the changes in your life. You can be sad. You can be unhappy. You can be angry. And at the same time, you can process. And a lot of times you might be able to move forward and you'll move into happy and glad and independent. Now, in conclusion, coping with loneliness after divorce is really a personal journey. I mean, it is. It's your thing, and it's going to require self-reflection, connection, and proactive steps. You're going to have to do something. By reconnecting with yourself, building a support system, and engaging in meaningful activities, you can transform loneliness into an opportunity for personal growth and a new beginning. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, feel free to drop me a line. My contact information is in the description. Divorce is not the end of your story. As we know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Until next time, you got this.
We want to thank you for listening to this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce with Mike Fulkerson. For questions, please reach out to Mike via email in the description or give him a shout at 630-444-1410. Remember to subscribe, like, and follow.